My name is Zach Blaine. I'm going to be performing and demonstrating the deadlift exercise. Deadlift is an exercise that mainly hits your posterior chain, your back, butt, glutes, hamstrings, calves, and bicep. I'm just doing real quick. That. PC, which is posterior chain. Your back, like I said, hamstrings, glutes. It's a pulling movement. The deadlift is explosive pulling movement. Yes.
Why would somebody like my age, middle age, do a deadlift?
Or someone your age? Because weight resistance training has been shown to increase resting metabolism, so you're burning more calories at rest. Decreases your chance of osteoporosis, increases your by increasing bone density, so you have stronger bones, less chance of breaking them or having problems when you get older. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then that goes to show deadlifts can be used at any population, like old people. I mean, anyone can do exercise like that. Resistance training. Even models. Heidi Klum's been known. I've heard her talk about performing a deadlift. She said she did like 3 or 4 sets of 15. Of course, it's more slow and controlled than as opposed to like an athlete or a powerlifter who focuses on explosiveness. But athletes, very beneficial to athletes because when you perform a deadlift, your hamstrings stretch out and lengthen. They're overloaded with the weight, which is the overload principle on it, which while stretching out your hamstring, putting that weight on it, it gets used to a heavy strain on it, so you decreases your risk of hamstring injuries, pulling your hamstring. They usually perform 1 to 5 reps athletes on deadlift, opposed to the like 8 to 12 for bodybuilders or 8 to 15 for other just normal people who focus on health. 8 to 12 is more of like a growth hypertrophy range. We're trying to increase muscle mass.
What's hypertrophy?
Hypertrophy it's pretty much just means growing. Your muscle's growing, it's expanding. But athletes aren't focused on just getting huge, mainly strength, explosive power that can transition over to the field. Then powerlifters focus on reps like 1 to 3 usually, and focus on the speed of them, exploding on that. Yes?
Are there different kinds of deadlifts you can do?
There is. I'll go over a few of them real quick. Conventional deadlift, which is the most basic one. Feet just flat on the floor like this. Bend your knees, squat down, heads up, back straight, butt down. You don't want to stick your butt out. Just butt down like this. Hands right outside your legs like this. And just straight up, down. That's your most basic conventional deadlift. Another one, people with more lanky bodies, not stout, shorter legs, they like to do sumo stances where you stick your legs out like this. Your grip's on the inside, like that. You just go straight up like this. Sumo stance hits your glutes a little more than a conventional deadlift, which is a little more hamstring dominant, but depending on your body type. Usually like endomorph, or ectomorph, which is skinnier, lankier people do sumo deads, as opposed to like a mesomorph, which is a person that's naturally stocky, gains weight and muscle easily, and then endomorph, the heavier people, naturally occurring. Probably stick with the conventional deadlift as well. There's also what's called a snatch grip deadlift, which mainly the only difference is your grip. It sticks out way out here, like that. You go straight up like this. That helps a lot with shoulder stabilization by hitting your traps and your rear delts, which is right across here. Focuses on that. It's a lot harder. You perform with a lot less weight because obviously it's going to be harder to grip. Another conventional and sumo deads, your grip, ideally you want your grip to be double overhand, which would be like this. But a lot of people have a hard time gripping like that and using heavy weight. So they'll go over under, which is one hand's over, one hand's under, like that. And The only bad thing about that is it increases your risk of tearing a bicep if you're using really heavy weight, because your hand's under the right hand when you're your right arm that's under. A lot of people, powerlifters, have torn that and stuff. It's not real likely, but it's a greater risk, most definitely. You can also see I'm barefoot right now. Most powerlifters and performance enhancing coaches will recommend either flat feet or no shoes or flat soled shoes. That's because you're driving through your heels on a deadlift, so you're focusing on driving through your heels. When you have shoes, athletic shoes that have a raised up heel, you're off balance because you're trying to go down forward, but because of those heels, you'll overcompensate and bend your back, round your back off, which increases your risk of injury. So when you have no shoes on or your flat-soled shoes, closer to the ground, which allows you to drive through your heels without being worried about having an imbalance in that. Deadlift also, benefit of it is core strength, helps a lot with your abdominal muscles, stabilizing, as well as your back. A lot of people with back problems, it's because of a weak core. Deadlift, that's exactly what it does. It helps strengthen your core, helping out with those muscle imbalances. Do you want to have any more questions?
How much weight is on there right now?
That is only like 30-something pounds. It would be 35.
So how much do you recommend if it were...
If you were to start out doing it?
Right.
If you were to start off, I would recommend, like most bars are 45 pounds, barbells in gyms. If you're a guy, I'd say start with that. Focus on form first, because that's the most important thing. People start throwing weight on there, and then their form's bad already, so then they end up hurting themselves because they just keep focusing on the weight and never had good form. There are smaller barbells and stuff at gyms that I would recommend for women to start with the bar. Like most female clients of mine that I've done deadlifts with, I start off like 15 pounds. Once their form's down, I've had them up to like 65, 70. So it's really based on the person and how each body responds, because everyone's different in that aspect. You have a question? No?
No.
So in the gym, I'm used to just like doing the machines, so this
Yeah.
would be better.
Free weights help a lot with, they cause you to stabilize the weight. Machines definitely have their place. I think they're good with starting out with people or people that don't know how to train or are kind of unsure, because it's a lot better than going in there and hurting yourself because you don't know what you're doing. If you have a good idea on how to do it with free weights, I always like free weights better for everyone. I rarely ever use machines. I'll use like cables sometimes, but it causes, like a deadlift is a full body exercise. Most machines only isolate one thing. Like if it's a chest press, it's straight, pretty much just your pecs. Arm stuff, biceps. I mean, usually just focus on isolation instead of hitting a lot of muscles at one time like this, full body movement, which hits, I mean, you're exploding up with your quads, you're pulling back with your back, lower back, traps, your grip, glutes, hamstrings. So it just hits a lot more bang for your buck, so to speak. And you're going to burn more calories on being performing deadlift than you are as opposed to like just a bicep curl machine or a row machine.
Okay, I wanted you to show us like your posture on side view, or
Side
have
view?
somebody else do it or something.
Alright. From the side, you want to, like I said earlier, keep your head up. So you don't want to curve up your neck and mess up your neck. So you squat down, butt's down, back straight, looking up, split up, drive through your heels. You want to keep the bar close to you as well the whole time, close to your shins. A lot of people have the mistake of having the bar way out here. You want it real close to your shins as possible and just coming up. Like that. Another mistake a lot of people do is they'll bend their arms when they're doing it. You want to keep your arms completely straight. Bending your arms is just going to mess up your shoulders or your bicep or elbows. That's just a bad idea all around. So just keeping it close at your side, going straight up. You want to come up here and demonstrate? See if you can do this?
Do you have time? You gonna coach me here?
Yeah. Alright. Alright. Bend down, keep your back straight, butt down a little more. Now keep your head up and drive up. Very good. And sit down. Alright. That's going to conclude the deadlift demonstration. Thanks to my help from Jennifer here, Bailey over there, Kelly right here, Nicole,
Song.
and Sonia.